Well, we have some bad news coming out of the athletics world. Fred Kerley, the 2022 world champion, the 7th fastest 100 athlete of all time, one of only 3 athletes to go sub-10 in the 100, sub-20 in the 200, and sub-44 over the 400 meters, has been provisionally suspended by the Athletics Integrity Unit for whereabouts failures. Now, under the World Athletics anti-doping regulations, any combination of 3 whereabouts failures within a 12-month period constitutes an anti-doping rule violation, and this typically results in a 2-year ban, but there's also a few more steps that need to happen before Fred Kerley is not allowed to compete. There will be an investigation, and there probably will be more information following this announcement. This recent post here is a follow-up to Kerley not competing in this year's United States Nationals. He made a post saying that the 100 meters is supposed to be a straight-line sprint, however there have been some hurdles in the way for 2025. And in hindsight here, I think that he was talking about his whereabouts failures. This post was made very recently, and for 3 whereabouts failures to add up, you're probably looking at least a 6-month period, so Kerley knew that this was developing. It just took a little bit of time for the AIU to officially make the announcement. This has the entire track and field world in a frenzy. Kerley is one of those athletes that brings in all kinds of attention. Again, he's one of the fastest sprinters ever, and when he reaches his peak, he is next level fast. However, when he reaches his lows, there are certainly some extreme lows, and in 2025, he was actually arrested twice, both in Florida, once in the early months of 2025, and he was actually trying to look at his car, and he ended up talking quite aggressively to the police, and the other happened just one day before the Grand Slam competition in Florida took place. Now, I'm still not exactly sure what happened with his second arrest, but 2025 just has not been a good year for Fred Kerley, both on and off the track. Since 2021, Kerley's 100-meter times have been well under 9.9. However, this season, he just barely got under 10 seconds, which is still a very impressive performance, but history dictates that he can run much faster. The same thing can be said about his 200-meter running, where he typically goes well under 20. However, this season, he only reached a 20.16, which again is quite fast, but by Fred Kerley's standards, it's not exactly what we would expect. Now, in a recent post on his Instagram, he said that Kerley has already notified the AIU that he intends to contest the allegation that he has violated the anti-doping rules related to whereabouts failures, as he strongly believes that one or more of his alleged missed tests should be set aside, either because he was not negligent or because the doping control officer did not do what was reasonable under the circumstances to locate him at his designated location. Fred will not comment further at this time out of respect for the process and looks forward to presenting his case to the appointed hearing panel. This situation has me kind of torn. On the one hand, you have most people that are fully aware of what exactly is required when reporting their locations and how to be available for the 60-minute time slot for the control officers to find them. This kind of thing is of utmost importance to all track athletes, and you honestly have no excuse to miss it. However, for someone like Fred Kerley in a season like 2025, when they appear to be all over the place, both based on arrests and based on performances, there actually might be a decent excuse here. Missing these tests and not being readily available is still not okay, but if Kerley can state that there was some kind of misunderstanding, or that, say, he was in jail when he said that he was going to be in his residence, that kind of thing probably would be accepted by the AIU. I'm not sure if they've already tried to look into this kind of thing, or if that kind of investigation takes place after this initial suspension is announced, but I am very curious as to what exactly will happen with Fred Kerley in 2025, and it leaves me hoping that Kerley is not actually trying to evade tests. When Kerley is running well, he brings a very special kind of hype, and I enjoy watching him very much, but at the same time, an investigation is clearly warranted here. And now I would love to hear your thoughts on this specific investigation. Do you think Fred Kerley is guilty? Do you think Fred Kerley, in fact, did miss 3 tests intentionally because he was potentially doping? Or do you think this is a simple misunderstanding and Fred Kerley will soon be back in good standing? Thanks for watching, everyone, and as always, until next time.